You know, everybody's got their desert island this and desert island that, and you know, for example, food-wise, right? If someone said, "Oh, what's your desert island food?" Well, I mean, first I might say chili dogs, but I would probably die from chili dogs like in 2 months because they're chili dogs. But if I couldn't choose chili dogs, I would choose like nam khao tod, like the famous crispy rice and sour sausage salad from northern Thailand. It's brilliant. I could eat nam khao tod until I hurl. Now, desert island is a very important thing to say. Desert island is okay, no, I'm barracking with this. This is it. I don't have another option. So, and we get asked this question all the time: what's your desert island this? What's your one choice of this? What's your da-da-da? My desert island Oregon Pinot, Cristom. Cristom is, to me, the ultimate essence, the ultimate representation of classic Oregon Pinot Noir. Crafted beautifully, harmonious wine, stick to the gun style of winemaking, which we'll get into. And I just love the vibe and the mojo here. The wines are filled with Pinocité, what the French use the term. They're not trying to be Syrah, but they're not trying to be lean either. They're just like perfect, beautiful, pinpoint, balanced textbook Pinot Noirs. And isn't that kind of what we want? I mean, that's kind of what I want, you know? So today we're featuring 4 single vineyard wines from Cristom. They're tip of the top, 4 different bottlings. There's, let's see, Marjorie, Luis, Eileen, and Jesse. 4 different single vineyard sites, all within the Cristom property. They're located in the Aola Amity Hills area, one of my favorite spots for Pinot, simply because these wines have that real kind of textbook, down the road essence style of Pinot, full of fruit, incredibly engaging, but capable of aging as well. And here's the deal with Cristom. Gary family purchased 1992. There was some pre-existing vineyard here. There was some stuff planted in the early 80s, and the Gary family went about doing things their way. And at the time, they hired a guy by the name of Steve Dorner, and Steve Dorner is a legend to me. This guy is a rock star. He cut his teeth at Calera in 1978. He helped Josh Jensen make some of those first Calera Pinot Noirs, and he established the house style of Calera, which, if you guys know Calera, that is iconic as well. Pinot Noir on limestone in California became synonymous with great Pinot Noir in California. They were Williams-Sellium before Williams-Sellium was Williams-Sellium, you know, this sort of deal. And they recruited him, the right call, definitely, to make the wines at Cristom. From there, the Cristom style kind of followed the path of the Calera wines, right? So we have quite a bit of whole cluster vinification here, a la Romanée Conti, a la Domaine du Jacques, etc. But when you do whole cluster the right way, you are not making a green, lean, stemmy wine. You are making a wine that revels in its complexity. You're creating a wine with layers. When whole cluster vinification is done nuanced, done properly, and not done because, oh, so-and-so does whole cluster, so we're gonna do it too, even though we don't know what the hell we're doing. When you do whole cluster properly, it makes wines very, very nice. And that's what these Cristom wines are. And you know, and in the last few years, Steve, because he's not a spring chicken anymore, though he could probably kick my ass. Steve is kind of stepping away a little bit, and in came Daniel Estrin. Daniel Estrin, who's kind of taken the reins over starting pretty much around 2019. He kind of really jumped in. And Daniel's resume is ridiculous, right? So he's learning how to make Pinot from the guy who like founded Calera, basically. And his job before he came to Cristom was the right-hand guy for Ted Lemon at Literai. It's a pretty good resume. Dude also worked at Domaine de la Côte, Bodega Chakra. I mean, you name it. Any cool effing Pinot Noir produced in the New World, Danny seems to have at least kicked the barrels around there, or at the most had a major hand in crafting those wines. So now you got this great team. You got Estrin, and now you got Steve Dorner, giving him all the ins and outs and nuances of these vineyards, which are farmed biodynamically, by the way. And it's greatness. You combine that with the 2021 vintage, which is one of my favorite vintages for Oregon Pinot Noir in the last decade, and there's been a lot of good ones. Absolute magic. I'm not going to go into the nuances of the individual wines. We have 4 different single vineyard wines on the offer today, all uber limited, super limited. And I would encourage you to read the piece, get a feel, look at the tasting notes from the pundits. One of the things we wanted to bring home today in the offer was that every pundit loves these stuff. I purposely went out of my way to use tasty notes from like 3 or 4 different guys, all of them 94 to 96 points, meaning anybody that pours this in their glass, drinks it, says it's great, and considers it one of the best of its particular genre. When you have that going for you, bam. So 75 bucks a bottle, you can say, oh, that's so expensive. No. In the context of world-class, New World Pinot Noir done at this level, with these guys from this vineyard, that is a great price to pay for these wines. And believe me, I'm one of the first guys to go and say, $75 for Pinot, are you kidding me? In this case, yes, 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 and yes. 4 different single bottlings. I would encourage you to collect the set. These are some of the most profound Pinot Noirs being made in the New World, and you have a great vintage to work with. If you haven't gotten to know Cristom yet, now's the time. Get them before they're gone. Super limited.